All right, so today we got perfect square trinomials. If it's a perfect square trinomial, I'm going to have a square here and a square there. And their square roots multiplied together by 2 has to equal the middle term. If it does, then it would factor to their square roots. Plus if the middle term's a plus, or a minus if the middle term's a minus. But we have to check to make sure it's a perfect square trinomial to begin with. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to look at this and this. If I take their square roots times 2, it has to equal the middle term. If it does, it's a perfect square trinomial. If it doesn't, it's not a perfect square trinomial. It still might factor, just not as a perfect square trinomial. If it does match, and this one does, then it's going to factor to x plus 5 squared. On B, if I look, I got 5a times 4b. If I take that times 2, that's 20 times 2, which is equal to 40ab. Because it matches, that tells me it's a perfect square trinomial. So the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 16 is 4. So we multiply those together. Because it works, then I could say 5a minus 4b squared. Because the pattern is the middle term is 2 times the square roots. So if the middle term isn't 2 times square roots, it doesn't work. If I have the difference of 2 squares, that's going to factor to a plus b and a minus b. The square root's plus and the square root's minus. If I factor out of 25, I'd have a squared minus 1. No, I wouldn't, would I? So we can't, I guess we need, all right, so let's not even factor out. So we have 5a plus 1/5 and 5a minus 1/5. On B, I could have 4a squared plus 9 and 4a squared minus 9. But this is still a square minus a square. So that means I got to factor that one again as a square root plus and a square root minus. So 2a plus 3 and 2a minus 3. If it's plus, you can't factor it. So I can't factor the 4a squared plus 9. So that's completely factored. On C, this is a square and that's a square. So I'm going to have an x plus 2 plus 3 and an x plus 2 minus 3. Square root of x plus 2 squared is going to be x plus 2. Square root of 9 is 3. X plus 2 plus 3, x plus 2 minus 3. Combine like terms, x plus 5, x minus 1.
And then you can always like check your answers through the
multiply it back out. The sum and difference of cubes. Some people like to use the acronym SOAP. Same sign, opposite signs, always positive. The sign pattern is going to be the same whether it's a cubed plus b cubed or a cubed minus b cubed. If you can remember that we use the same sign, the opposite sign, and always positive. So the first thing I do is I make room for 2 terms and 3 terms. And then I put the same sign. So since it's plus b cubed, I'm going to put plus there. And then it's the opposite sign, so a minus. And then it's going to be always positive. So the first thing we have to do is put the signs. And then we'll take their cube roots. So the cube root of a is cubed is a, and the cube root of b cubed is b. So then I put a, b here. I square the a. I multiply the a and the b together. And then I square the b. So now let's do that with numbers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my SOAP. I'm going to put the same sign, which is a plus, and the opposite sign, which is a minus, and then always positive at the end. My a is going to equal a because that's the cube root of a cubed. My b is going to equal the cube root of 64, which is 4. So then I have a plus b, so a plus 4. Square my a, multiply them together. Square the b, 16. For b, 2 isn't a cube, 54 is not a cube. But there is a GCF of 2, so I'll take out a 2 first. Now I got cubes. 1 is a cube, 27 is a cube, y the 6 is a cube. So now I can factor it as a sum of cubes. Start with my signs. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. My a is going to equal 1, and my b is going to equal 3y squared. Because the cube root of 27y to the 6 would be 3y squared. So I got to put my 2 at the front. And then put in my a and my b, so 1 and 3y squared. Square the 1, multiply them together. Square my b, 9y to the 4th. The same is going to be true if it's a minus. We just change our signs. So the pattern is going to be the same sign, negative, opposite sign, positive, always positive at the end. A, B, A squared, AB, B squared. So the only thing that changes is the signs. So that's why I always start with the signs. Yes, 9y to the fourth. Same sign is negative, opposite sign, always positive. My a is going to equal x. My b is going to equal 1/4. Plug in my x and my b. So I have x minus 1/4, x squared, x fourth, 1/16. On b, let's pull out a 2. That's 125, a to the third, minus 64, b to the third. After we pull out a 2, we got its cube minus a cube, so we can factor it. The a is going to equal 5a. The b is going to equal 4b. Put a 2 out front. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. 5a minus 4b, 25a squared, 20ab, 16b squared.